Why has Wimpy Burgers disappeared in the US but thrived overseas? You don't have to wait until Tuesday to find out. The story of Wimpy Burgers begins with J. Wellington Wimpy, the hamburger-obsessed friend of Popeye the Sailor Man. He famously promised to pay people back on a Tuesday that never seemed to arrive. He was also known for his relentless pursuit of free meals, often indulging in burgers in the most unexpected locations. The founder of the Wimpy restaurant was a man named Edward V. Gould, who had a close affinity for Wimpy. With a keen understanding of the comic strip's popularity and the widespread appeal of hamburgers, Gould saw an opportunity to bring the essence of Wimpy to life through a unique dining experience. So he aimed to create a space where people could indulge in deliciousness and high quality by creating a 10-cent hamburger that rivaled the 5-cent options on the market.
I'll have a hamburger, for which I will gladly pay you Tuesday.
Before it became the Wimpy we know it as today, the restaurant went by a couple different names. When Edward V. Gould opened the first location stores in Bloomington, Indiana on September 12, 1934, the place was known as Wimpy Grills. Gould then established Wimpy Grills restaurants in 5 other cities in the Midwest, and in 1936, he opened the first Chicago location. 20 years after the founding, Gould made plans for international expansion, as he teamed up with the British chain J. Lyons & Company. Lyons wasted no time establishing the first Wimpy bar in the United Kingdom, with the inaugural location opening its doors in 1954 at the Lyons Corner House on Coventry Street in London. Eventually, the success of the Wimpy bar led to the establishment of standalone Wimpy restaurants that specialized in burger-focused meals. In the 1970s, the Wimpy menu in the UK didn't include your typical fast food fare. In addition to the hamburgers and fries it still serves today, Wimpy pushed the boundaries with brunches, ingeniously incorporating its signature patties and hot dog benders, as well as delectable pastries, crispy fried potatoes, and even hearty soups. The bender, now called a bendy and cheese on today's menus, was a so-called rule-breaker hot dog. It was sliced into pieces, reshaped into a circular form, and served in a bun with cheese, tomatoes, and onions. Wimpy also served desserts like the Brown Derby, also known as the chocolate bowler. It consisted of a fried donut topped with whipped cream, nuts, and chocolate fudge syrup. And nestled discreetly at the bottom of the menu was a message stating that there had to be a minimum 20 pence charge per person, equivalent to about 25 cents in American dollars today. This requirement applied during the lunch hours from noon to 2 p.m. and all day on Saturdays. Wimpy set itself apart from the majority of fast food joints by offering table service instead of the conventional counter service. When Wimpy arrived in Glasgow, Scotland in the 1960s, it quickly became a sensation by providing Scots with their first taste of imported American fast food cuisine. And the traditional table service, with cutlery and food served on plates, added a touch of elegance to the whole experience. Customers could relax, take their time, and enjoy their meals in a comfortable setting that wasn't too fast or too casual. While Wimpy's table service and attention to detail resonated with customers for many years, economists believe that it eventually contributed to the chain's decline. The arrival of competitors like McDonald's, with its efficient over-the-counter system and disposable containers, prevented a quicker and more convenient option. This shift in customer expectations and the rise of competing chains posed serious challenges for Wimpy. For nearly 3 decades, the table service at Wimpy and its near monopoly on the fast food market made it a beloved destination for Scots, but eventually they just couldn't keep up.
If you ain't first, you're last.
In a 1977 article in the Chicago Daily News, Wimpy Grills founder Edward V. Gould was quoted as saying, "I don't give a what happens to the business. When I'm 6 feet under, what the do you think the difference will be to me what happens to it?" This was just months before he died at the age of 70 of a heart attack. He never married and didn't have any kids, and the American Wimpy franchise was facing an uncertain future. Gold had established a national chain known for its inviting atmosphere and quality food. At its peak, Wimpy had 25 restaurants across the United States. But by the time of his death, only 4 remained in the Chicago area under the ownership of his estate. The sale of the Wimpy restaurants, along with rights to the name and the U.S. trademark, presented an opportunity for potential buyers. Alas, the absence of Gold's leadership and the challenges of re-establishing the brand in the competitive fast food industry proved insurmountable. So the U.S. franchise shuttered, leaving behind a legacy of a once thriving business that ultimately succumbed to the loss of its visionary founder. While the Wimpy name was deteriorating in the United States, it was gaining traction overseas in the United Kingdom. Since its opening in 1954 in London, it has been hailed as one of the most British things to emerge in the nation. It's faced competition for more high-profile names in the fast food industry, but Wimpy sees itself as a unique dining experience, as opposed to a direct rival. As Claire Starling, the marketing manager of Wimpy International at the time, explained to The Guardian in 2002, "We have no high street comparison. Our customers come to us looking for something different." Wimpy seems to have an even stronger hold on South Africa since first opening there in 1967. With over 500 franchise locations and counting, the brand has become deeply embedded in the local culture by offering a distinct and cherished dining experience that resonates strongly with the local population.
Because at Wimpy, you're always welcome.
In October 1999, Wimpy launched a chain of fast food restaurants in the UK called Dr. Beaks Chicken. Wimpy originally aspired to be a unique dining experience, so what motivated them to go head-to-head with the likes of KFC? While Wimpy had no desire to compete with major fast food companies like McDonald's and Burger King, it soon realized that those chains were a huge factor hindering its growth. As a Wimpy chief executive admitted to Campaign magazine, "We have been competing with McDonald's since it launched here." So Wimpy looked for a new revenue stream by launching Dr. Beaks, and aimed to challenge KFC by offering healthier options focused on white meat and oven-baked chicken. Alas, Dr. Beaks struggled to gain traction due to its predominantly motorway service locations and an inability to match the well-established KFC brand name. It eventually merged with the original company to become Wimpy Chicken in 2003, but they still ended up closing all of its locations within just a few years. Even before the Dr. Beaks flop, Wimpy turned out to be a small fish in too big a pond. And so in 1989, the company was acquired by GrandMet. Alan Shepard, the chairman and chief executive of GrandMet, told the Herald that year, "The purchase provides a rare opportunity to gain the sites needed to expand our European retailing operations." A year later, GrandMet announced that roughly 20 Wimpy locations would be converted into one of its direct competitors, Burger King. This acquisition signaled a significant shift in the fast food industry that shed light on the challenges faced by smaller players. GrandMet saw Wimpy's locations as valuable assets that could boost its own retailing operations. While the acquisition may have been a strategic move for GrandMet, it marked a rather sour turning point for Wimpy. The absorption of several franchises into the Burger King brand diminished Wimpy's presence and identity in Great Britain. In 1990, GrandMet sold what remained of the Wimpy restaurants to a former Wimpy managing director and his business partners who helped rebuild the brand. While Wimpy continued to struggle in the UK, the hype train was just starting in South Africa. In 2002, in an effort to be more inclusive, Wimpy created Braille menus for all of its locations to allow the visually impaired to learn more about its food. About 10 years later, it launched an ad campaign to spread the word about the Braille menus. It featured blind people reading the Braille message made with sesame seeds atop their burgers that read, "100% pure beef burger made for you." Ultimately, the results from the campaign were more than Wimpy ever could have imagined. It not only garnered attention among tens of thousands of of people with visual impairments, but also highlighted Wimpy's commitment to inclusivity and the diverse needs of its customers.
People from Wimpy came to tell us that they have Braille menus in all of their restaurants.
After establishing strong presences in the UK and South Africa, Wimpy expanded its reach to the Middle East in 1969, specifically in Kuwait, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. While Wimpy didn't exactly achieve the same level of success there as it did in other regions, it still experienced a resurgence following a technological rebranding effort in 2021. Described as American fast food with an omni-channel, tech-driven approach, the Middle East version of Wimpy aimed to appeal to a younger demographic. The rebranding was no mere superficial makeover, as it entailed an overhaul of every aspect of the Wimpy experience. From the burger smashing technique to the quality of its chicken, everything changed for the better. The Middle East branch sought to provide an upgraded and improved dining experience to cater to the evolving tastes of its target audience. By incorporating technology and modern approaches, Wimpy aimed to remain relevant to a tech-savvy generation, and the emphasis on enhancing the quality of its ingredients underscored the company's commitment to delivering exceptional food to its customers. In 2022, the Middle East wing of Wimpy opened a location at the food court of the Dubai Mall. The company is actively embracing technological advancements and hopes to make the Middle East location a first of many. That includes a robotic burger and fry flipper known as Flippy 2. When it comes to robotics, Wimpy is in good hands. The manufacturer behind Flippy 2 is Miso Robotics, a California-based company that's familiarized itself with robotic machine learning, as well as ways to reduce costs and improve the dining experience. This strategic partnership allows Wimpy to take on a more forward-thinking approach, as it looks to stay at the forefront of technological advancements in the food industry. This collaboration represents an exciting step forward by combining the renowned legacy of the burger brand with the latest advancements in robotic and machine learning to deliver an enhanced dining experience for customers in the Middle East and beyond.
Let the robots do the robotic work.
Although the original Wimpy restaurant that started in 1934 no longer operates in the United States, that doesn't mean there aren't any Wimpy-inspired establishments in the country. For example, there's Wimpy's Hamburgers, which first opened its doors in Tulare, California in the early 1990s. Like the original Wimpy, the joint draws inspiration from J. Wellington Wimpy and his fellow comic strip characters. Wimpy's Hamburgers offers its own unique menu, featuring the Wimpy Burger, Bruto Burger, and Sailor Burger, in addition to wings, sandwiches, patty melts, and a variety of sides ranging from chili bowls to zucchini sticks. Another spin-off in the US is Wimpy's Burgers and Fries, with locations in Tennessee and Mississippi. There's also another Wimpy's Hamburgers operating in Texas. These spin-offs have offered their own twists on fast food by offering a range of items that J. Wellington Wimpy would likely approve of, just so long as he could pay for it later. The Tennessee and Mississippi locations serve hamburgers, turkey burgers, and buffalo chicken sandwiches. Meanwhile, the Texas spot serves hamburgers, including one with spinach, as well as shrimp po' boys and other typical fast food fare. The original may be long gone, but the spin-offs and copycats still carry on the spirit.